Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 kind of feels like the beginning of a new wave or generation of this game. For many reasons. I think the first one is the lack of the UEFA license means that this game no longer has any sort of exclusivity to anything big. But as always, off the pitch, this game is just, I mean, on the pitch, this game is king. And off the pitch, there's so many relics or remnants from a PS2 era that still persist that I kind of find baffling, because it's sort of one game that feels like it is leading the pack in its genre, and the other which just won't update or won't become modern. And because of that, it kind of makes this such a weird thing that it hasn't got to where it should be in certain aspects, while it is absolutely leading the way in others. Like I said, on the pitch, this game is just, it's absolutely fantastic. There's so much incredible intricacies to it to absolutely fall in love with, to the point where you kind of don't, if you don't care way too much for the presentation or the fact that your favorite team may not be present in the game, the actual gameplay is just incredible. The sort of what's on offer in terms of building your team strategies and the dynamicism, whichever that word is, I can't say right now. It's just so much fun. Like, each match can feel so different depending on how your opponent sort of lines up and how its strategy is felt. You can sort of, if one player is just running rampant in your defense, you can put tighter marking on them. You can sort of close them down. You can be very granular with your strategies, or at least your tactics, as you go, as well as sort of mix things on the fly. You can push players forward pretty quickly. You can pull them back. You can set up a few different unique things to it to sort of change and swap as you go that would suit your player and your team's dynamic. But the more you play the game, the more you even see the smaller things, the animations of how players jostle, of passing, of how everything comes together. Like, even the way passes can be, you can set a pass 20 yards diagonally, and there are multiple animations to play out that pass, especially sometimes depending on the player that does it. And that alone to me just makes it feel, like I said, so dynamic, so fluid, and so natural that I don't think anyone comes close to. I think visuals have taken a major step up as well. There's an incredible lighting model here that just sort of really captures a stadium feel during the day or the nighttime. The licensed teams they have, actually most players, but especially the licensed teams that they have, like Barcelona, like Liverpool, the players look better than some, like a lot of AAA single player games of the main protagonist, and there's 22 of them on the pitch. And when you get up close, it's just fascinating just how much detail and authentic feeling there is to it, which is helped, like I said, by the lighting model. And then when you go into the replays, even just everything looks spectacular. And goals, like that's what I'm saying, everything feels so natural. I think that's the best way I can probably describe the whole gameplay on the pitch. Is it's natural. Everything looks real and authentic in the way it should be. It's just such a joy to not only play but watch, and it's just, I couldn't speak enough good things about the game on the pitch. Like how you can just absolutely run rampant with a few players if you get a run right. If the players are really smart, that's one thing I have to pick up on. This is gonna be the pure comparison to FIFA. The only one I'll put here maybe is the players off the ball are incredibly intelligent. The AI is so much better than FIFA, that if they see a bit of space, they will run into that bit of space. They will put their hand out to get your attention. They will do that sort of stuff without you really needing them to do so, like a player actually would. And on top of that, to make it even better, the AI, or at least sort of whatever, tries to compute what it's thinking you want to do in terms of positions of a pass and the direction and sort of how much weight you put on it. It's done incredibly well. There's so many times in FIFA where I'm like, okay, just pass it up to the diagonal, and I'll just pass a straight pass into another player that's marked, and it says nope, didn't even put in that much power, and yet again it's gone all the way over here to him. Or you may press like, hey, a player right beside him, and he'll pass it back, and it just feels so off. You're like, no, I didn't want to put it there, and usually there's not a player there, and it gets kind of frustrating. Here it's done really, really well. It's intelligent. Like, you may not have your direction perfect on the analog stick, But it knows what you're trying to do at least, so it compensates for that. And that alone, I think, just makes it so much more enjoyable on the pitch. Now, for the bad part, is everything off the pitch is not good whatsoever. It's like an entirely different game. The UI is still bare bones at best and just kind of ugly in other parts. And it's been like this for far too long. I don't understand how they haven't improved the presentation in terms of just getting from the menus, just getting into the modes, how everything is broken down in terms of single player, in terms of multiplayer. It just doesn't look good, and it's the first impression you get. And because it doesn't have the licenses, that sort of, it sort of concentrates that sort of lesser product feeling because it hasn't got the licenses. And then the menus don't look great, and it just puts me off so much right away. And it's such a shame because, like I said, on the pitch, this is the best football game hands down. I can't even deny that it's a close one to me anyway. But off the pitch, it's a shambles. The modes aren't excellent. Master League has been the same, pretty much Master League for donkey's years probably at this stage. It's been the same for a long time. There's no meaningful changes. It's still enjoyable if that's what you like to do. Start from a nobody team and build your way up to your dream team. It's still there, but stuff like My Club has sort of taken over part of that as well with the card system, which now gives you, I think, 4 instead of 1 when you do it. It's a bit better. It's better quality of life. But largely over the last few years, the modes and presentation hasn't changed all that much. I didn't play that much online. I played a couple matches just to test it out because it hasn't been great in the past. And it's fine here. I didn't see any really lag spikes. I didn't see any latency issues. It just worked well. It was fun. So it was fine for that. I just wish that they really put a bit more time and effort into the UI. Like, the developers so much time and effort to make the game look so good on the pitch, and they nail it. They make it play so well, and then the face of it, or at least the front part of it, just looks so outdated. So that's sort of my major gripe with this game, is the UI is ugly, which is, I mean, that kind of says it all, right? If the worst thing I can say about the game is the UI is ugly, I think it speaks volumes about just how great the game actually is. And yeah, it's disappointing that it's losing more licenses. They've bought a few leagues, but it's not the major leagues that would sort of be great for worldwide fans. It's good for, let's say, people of those countries that want their leagues represented, which is kind of cool. But it's not the major ones that will sort of pull people over to this franchise over the rest. But yeah, King on the pitch, bit of a jester off it. Still PES, and it's still pretty incredible. It's